Hello everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation and April 2020's what I wore this month. Day one was Sunday the 12th of April and it was a day early. However, I was at home, so this wasn't really any worries. I wore a pair of Love Luna underwear on the Saturday night. Love Luna underwear, which is here, on the Saturday night, so I was kind of wearing protection when I woke up and got my period anyway, so that was pretty good. As usual, this is what I wore in order, keeping in mind that I wear period underwear day and night, so 24/7 across my period. So I usually do like a washing load in between of my underwear just so I have enough, because over a 5-day cycle this is 10 pairs of underwear, and obviously as I wore one the night before I actually used 11 pair, like I wore period underwear 11 times. So, the first up is this 10-inch Disney posters drawn in the style of Tim Burton. It is cotton lycra topped, super heavy organic bamboo fleece core and soft shell fleece on the back. There is then this 10-inch mermaid by Kitty Cat cloth. It is organic bamboo velour topped, fleece, cotton fleece core and grid Winpro on the back. This one here is a 10-inch Witches by Miss Andrew Maid. It is cotton topped, flannel core and poly fleece on the back. This one here is a 10-inch Space Dog by Venus Pads. It is cotton knit topped, flannel core and fleece on the back. Then next up we have this Link one. It is by Lotus Blossom. It is cotton topped, cotton flannel and hemp fleece with PUL core and micro fleece on the back. Next up is this 10-inch Adventure Time by Keller Bear Creates. It is cotton lycra topped, bamboo French terry, cotton flannel and PUL core with micro fleece on the back. Overnight is this 14-inch Hello Kitty by Go With Your Flow. It is cotton lycra topped, bamboo fleece, flannel and PUL core with, of course, corduroy on the back. Then next up is this 12-inch Unicorn by Keller Bear Creates. It is cotton lycra topped, bamboo French terry, cotton flannel and PUL core and micro fleece on the back. Then it's this 12-inch La Flame by Venus Pads. It is OBV topped, or organic bamboo velour topped. It is flannel core and fleece backed. This one here is a 10-inch Heavy by Keller Bear Creates. It is cotton lycra topped, bamboo French terry and cotton flannel and PUL core and micro fleece on the back. This is a 10-inch Axe by Venus Pads, cotton knit topped, flannel core and fleece backed. This is a 11-inch by Erin Sweet Sew. It is a cotton topped, organic bamboo fleece, cotton fleece flannel and PUL core and corduroy on the back. This is an 11-inch Hocus Pocus by Orange Tulip Knits. It is cotton lycra topped, super heavy bamboo fleece core and Winpro on the back. This is a 10-inch, Rudolph by Handmade by Hetty. It is cotton knit topped, zorb and flannel core and fleece on the back. Then it's this 10-inch Sit and Kitten by Kitty Cat Cloth. It is organic bamboo velour topped, fleece, cotton fleece core and grid Winpro on the back. Then there is this 14-inch Blood Spatter by Keller Bear Creates. It is cotton lycra topped, bamboo French terry, cotton terry and PUL core with this micro fleece on the back. I did wear a fun cup at work with this 10-inch Acacia pad with polyester. This is all polyester PU and PUL. I did wear that as backup along with a pair of Acacia underwear, which is these celestial ones. The rest of the time I just wore Love Luna. Then 10-inch Doctor Who by Lotus Blossom. It is cotton topped, cotton flannel, hemp fleece and PUL core and micro fleece on the back. Then it's this 10-inch Mistresses of Evil by A Splendid Story. It is cotton lycra topped, super heavy organic bamboo fleece core and soft shell fleece on the back. Then it is this 10-inch Hannah Green, which is this print by Hannah Pads. It is cotton, organic cotton, and this is laminated cotton on the back with silicone dots for knot movement. And this is a 12-inch Puppet by Sunshine Bums. It is organic cotton sweatshirt knit, topped, organic cotton flannel and terry core and Winpro fleece on the back. Next up is this 14-inch Zombie Bunny by Go With Your Flow. It's cotton lycra topped, cotton bamboo fleece, flannel and PUL core and anti-pill fleece on the back. I then wore this Juju Cup High Cervix, and then as backup wore the Juju pad with it, which is 9 inches and all organic cotton with a PUL liner. Next up is this 10-inch Ladies by Lotus Blossom. It is cotton topped, cotton flannel and hemp fleece with PUL core and fleece backed. Then this 9-inch Maleficent by Bella Luna Inspiration, which is athletic wicking jersey top, bamboo core and fleece backed. Then it's this 9-inch Doctor Who by Handmade by Hetty, which is cotton topped, Zorb and flannel core and fleece backed. And then this 9-inch Puppet by Sunshine Bums, which is organic cotton sweatshirt knit, organic cotton flannel and terry claw and Winpro fleece on the back. And then of course the last one before I finish was this 9-inch Totoro by Daisy and Bird. It is cotton knit topped, bamboo core and Winpro fleece on the back. If you were counting along with me, that was 29 pads, 11 pairs of period underwear, 2 menstrual cups. I also used my Hannah Pads wet bag, which if you can see is over here, and I used my Hannah Pads wet bag while I was at work, which is cotton and laminated cotton on the inside, and my pad wrappers from Gypsy Heart Store, which are cotton topped and PUL lined. 3 pad wrappers and 1 wet bag. So that is what I wore this month for April 2020. It went for 5 days and 4 nights, and this is what I wore. So I hope, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy your morning, afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the day. And I, of course, will catch up with you all in the next video. Bye everyone. This is the April review of Hannah Pads. I wore this 10-inch Hannah Green Hannah Pad on Wednesday the 14th of April 2020, and I didn't actually wear any of the others. This 10-inch antique indigo I did carry with me as my backup, and it was, you probably would have seen it if you follow me on Instagram, that this was in my backup for in case I needed it. But generally I take 5 pads with me when I leave the house or for my work day, and generally I will wear 4, and then by the time I get home, which is when I would put on the 5th pad, I then obviously have access to all of the rest of my pads, because you never know what's going to happen. So my period kind of ended before I ended up using any of these. Generally, even though this one's a panty liner and this one's a small, these are both kind of too small for me to be wearing on my period. So I wouldn't necessarily wear either one of these, even as backup. So most likely these two will end up destashed, to be quite frank. But I did wear this one. Look, there is nothing particularly wrong with these pads. They just don't necessarily suit my preferences. Aside from the 2 10-inch ones here that are actually in my size preference for pads, the 8-inch liners, it's just... I already told you, obviously, in the last update, which you would have seen just before this one, that this 13-inch super heavy one I had issues with in... my last period. So alas, look, it's obviously kind of possibly tainted my experience. The experience I had with Hannah pads in January 2019 was kind of similar to this. I went over the edges, they didn't necessarily fit the underwear that I wore right, and this is why sometimes it's kind of hard to review things when they don't work for you, because just because they don't work for me does not mean they're not going to work for everybody else. And I've noticed that probably because of the underwear that I use, the shape that I am, the size that I am, there are just certain pads that I have preference for that other people do not have preference for. There are certain pads that I have not liked and I have destashed to my sister, and they're her favourite pads because they suit her shape. Like these, she's always like, these ones are my favourite ones, blah, blah, blah. And it's just because they suit her body shape and underwear better than they suited me. And I think that's what's happening with these Hannah pad ones, is that they are very well made. They are well presented, they are well packaged, they have a good company ethos, and they own the factories that these are made in. Their companies are franchises, so the Australia company is a franchise of the South Korean one. There's an American franchise. There is a European franchise. I actually love everything about this company except for the pads. And this is obviously organic cotton that they use for their pads. Some of them actually do come with kind of seeds in them because they don't believe in processing them too much. None of these ones have that. Sorry about that. These silicone dots on the back work exactly as intended to prevent them from moving around your underwear, which seems to be part of the criticism originally. But like this shape here, if you see, this doesn't, because if you've seen some of my other vlogs, I quite often bleed out here. So this doesn't have enough front coverage for me. And even if I turn it around here, so I quite often will bleed from here to here if I'm heavy. So it doesn't matter which way I wear this pad, it's not going to be adequate enough if I have this bit at the front or the back. As I said, these ones are a bit small, and so instead of, like as I said, these silicone dots do exactly what they're meant to do in preventing them from moving around your underwear. But again, I prefer corduroy as a backer, and corduroy does exactly the same thing. So again, what it falls down to essentially at this point is probably just personal preference, is that these are not in my personal preference. This does not mean these are bad pads. These are very well made. These are very nice pads, and it's a great company. This is, to be honest with you, I was a bit dubious about the lack of zipper on top. I found that this is a great wet bag, and having just this rope here makes it a lot easier to kind of get in and out of. It doesn't open. Even when I haven't actually pulled this closed, I haven't had anything come out of it. So I've just kind of propped it up in my bag and it's worked perfectly fine. So even with the slight bit, like the slight bit on the bottom, like that, it will sit up. So that doesn't ever seem to be a problem in general. So it will sit up even without this closed, and if you have it sitting up in your handbag or your backpack like I do, nothing falls out of it anyway. So I am a big fan of this wet bag. So I'll see you guys in the next update. Okay, the clip before this one should have shown you that I destashed the pink cup to my sister, and we will be moving forward with this review with this cup. That is generally because I do not use the B cup or the small cup. This has been rinsed off since I've used it and washed with the foaming cleanser, but not sterilized, and then it dropped on my floor, which obviously is a bit dusty, and it dropped on the floor, rolled under my desk and into the corner, which obviously is just dusty, so that's why it looks so appalling. I would never wear it this way. So this is the April 2020 update, and it will continue to be on this blue one, which is cup B. I wore this cup on day 3 of my cycle, which was Tuesday the 14th of April 2020, and I had about 5 or so mils, which was about here on the cup on day 3, which is kind of reasonably standardish for day 3. Day 2 is usually where I can get 30 to 35 mil, so day 3 is quite a bit less than that. I usually get between 5 and 10. It did actually get quite high up, and a 5 mil, which is really kind of not a lot in the cup, means it wasn't that weighted down, and that kind of meant I had to dig around a little bit to get it out. However, I did have to adjust it at about 10 a.m. in the morning, so that was about 3 or 4 hours of wear, because it kept pushing against my bladder. So I must have had it sitting the wrong way in my canal for that to be happening, and I had to go, I just felt like going to the bathroom all the time, and then not much was coming out, which can be quite super frustrating when you have these, but that's okay. That's sometimes what happens. But I just adjusted it, and all in all, it's a really enjoyable cup, and it's a really comfortable cup, and it is on the softer side probably of my preference, but I do prefer them softer than firmer. So another good month with Germany's The Fun Cup. Welcome to the April 2020 update for the Acalia product line. I did not wear the Acalia cup during April's cycle, and it's been sterilised, so it's going to stay in its little bag until my next cycle. Okay, so I did wear this 10-inch pad, and I did wear one of the Celestial underwear, Celestial Eve period underwear. So now I did mention, I think in the last part, that you would have seen that the sizing is very, very far off for these, for this Eve. So I've ordered the next size up and the size up from that. So 1 size up and 2 size up from the size that I'd ordered, to test and see how far they actually are off. However, due to COVID-19, as we all understand, this has been quite, this pandemic's been quite influential in the way the world's running. The post is not the most important thing that's happening with COVID-19. However, due to what is happening, it meant that it was delayed by about 25 days, and therefore my period finished on Thursday, April the 16th, and I received the package Friday, April 17th. So, however, being that I'm generally a liner wearer, due to significant discharge, I'm going to wear them just as they are underwear, to see how they fit and see how they are going. I did, so this is why I think in the last one I had one Celestial, and then this black, and then this red, which is a size of the each of the brand, which is Aliyah. So this is the Aliyah, the one with the internal gusset, which I still haven't worn. And then there is this size, which they tell you on the inside what they are, which is, convenient, because I don't. This is the Oriana, which is kind of like a half wicking one, and then the celestial is the full. So, and then I had one of these in the size that was too small, and so then I've ordered the next 2 sizes up, which obviously I will be testing out to see how they fit before my next cycle, just so I know what's going on, and then I'll wear them in the next cycle. What I am going to do is destash this pair to my sister, because they do run. She is smaller than me in size, but because these run at least 2 sizes too small, they may be just on the big side for her, rather than be massively too big. And obviously these have the internal gusset, so so this is actually going to be destashed to my sister, and because I haven't worn them, it does actually mean that I can send them to her. And this is the pair with this internal gusset on them. Okay, so so this pair will probably still be too big for her, but you know, there should be a size too big for her, rather than for me, which is the way they're running 2 sizes too small. So these, I did wear these pad as well, and essentially I used it as backup for the fun cup. Now, as you all well know, backup is useful because when you initially put the cup in, your vaginal canal will still contain some blood, and this blood should already be there and come out. It does not mean your cup is leaking. It's just that kind of initial bit of blood that's still coming out of your exiting your body, which is what the backup is for. But of course it came onto the pad. It literally came all the way here. It came over the edge and came all the way across here. Like, it literally came, like, it was just like, I was actually kind of appalled. Another kind of pad that just didn't pad very well, or didn't do its intended purpose. Now, obviously I was wearing actually the celestial pair of underwear as well, and that was fine because I wear essentially 3 layers of protection, and yes, I realise that's 3 layers of protection. However, it does mean that I do not have to worry about what is going on at all, and this is actually a perfect example of this. That it was super frustrating that this pad just quite simply did not hold up. This is meant to be a moderate, and it didn't even hold up to essentially very light bit of blood that wasn't even, because my pad definitely wasn't leaking. I changed from this one to another pad that I obviously had in my bag, and no blood came out on that. So this was only the stuff that was in my vaginal canal at the time, and it didn't even hold up to that. It's kind of is super frustrating, because if I wasn't wearing a cup and period underwear, there would have definitely been an issue. So that is currently the April update for Acalia pads. These I'll probably send across to my sister along with the underwear, so she gets the full set. There were 2 of these plus the bag. They will all go over to her. And so I will continue this review with the celestial, this, and the cup.
use at once, as long as it's not of a sexual nature, which is why you get moved.
Hey everyone, it is Wednesday. Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. I have a whole cloth pad tag series playlist up here and thought it would also be good to do the same for menstrual cups. So let's get into the most common questions. Hello everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. Today we are having May's, this is May's prep pack video. I am due Friday the 8th of April 2020. Okay, welcome to April's update for the Acalia products, I guess. Now I did wear the Hello everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. Today we're looking at how sample sizes are not environmentally friendly. These sample sizes are frequently used within the beauty industries, sometimes as free giveaways and sometimes to provide a cheaper access to the product that you may want to try but not really want to purchase an entire product of. So it just gives you a cheaper way to try an expensive item. The sample size, these sample size products are also pervasive in travel, like in convenience travel sizes.